sections come in 6 foot long, 8 foot long, 36-inch high, 42-inch high, white, bronze, and black, all in a matte finish. What's included in the sections is you have your installation instructions for straight and for stair on how to convert a section to a stair section. You have all your pickets, pre-cut pickets. You have a top rail, which has a flat top rail. And then you have a bottom rail that comes set up for a straight section. It has the holes pre-punched for the pickets to go into the bottom rail. When you do want to turn this into a stair section, one of the things you do is you convert it by sliding out this vinyl profile. You can see the slide in it. And you're going to turn this around. Now it's blocking the holes, right? And now this becomes the bottom of the bottom rail. And then what's also included is spaces that are going to snap in, which you'll see in the installation, for the straight sections. And you also have in every box 2 spaces that are a little bit shorter that have a label on them. That's what you use on the end cuts. First thing you have to do is you have to install the bottom rail. You take the, for straight section, you take the bottom rail with the holes facing up for the pickets. You're going to put your rail into the bracket on each side, right, the 2 brackets, and then slide them over and use the self-centering on the post to help you keep it centered properly. And then the post spacing for the bottom bracket from the ground surface to the bottom is 2 3/4 inches. As per our installation instruction. So if you have a natural section, a full 72-inch or 96-inch section, you're going to take a natural rail out of the box. When you have your posts set at 72 and 96 inches in between posts, and they're going to fit naturally. But whenever you have to cut back a section, like in this case, we have a shorter section here, you have to cut off that equal amounts on either side of the rail. You have to do 2 cuts to keep your pickets in sync. Otherwise you'll have a short space on one side and a bigger space on the other. If you have a 70-inch space instead of a 72 in this case, right? You don't just cut it at 70. Please refer to the installation instructions because they have some additional numbers you have to subtract to make up for brackets, and the bottom rail and the top rail are different spaces because the brackets are different depths. So once you have your bottom rail secured into the brackets with the 2 screws on each side on the bottom, now you can turn your attention to the top. For a 36-inch from the top of the bottom bracket to the bottom of the top bracket is 29 1/4. And if you're going to do a 42-inch high, you just added the 6 inches, 35 1/4. And the top brackets, there's 3 screws here that you're using. So there's 3 screws, they're all internal. So you don't see them afterwards, they're internally, that's why you have to secure them first. And then what you're going to do is you're going to grab your rail that you pre-cut it to the same length, or it's a natural full section, you're going to use the full rail. And the second part of the bracket, there's like a little claw where they claw on top of the rail. They grab it underneath. And then this here just comes in, let me do this right, and they just pop in, they pop into place. And now what you would do is you have 4 screw holes here. The brackets already have the holes in them, and now you would pre-drill and you would add your 4 screws to secure the rail into the bracket so everything's locked in. So now what we need to do is to insert these spindles to complete the project. In your kit, you have 2 spaces. You have a bunch of larger spaces, and if you remember when we talked about the kit earlier, there's a couple shorter spaces that have a label on them, right? And you would normally use the shorter ones for your ends, for the 2 ends, because the spacing's a little bit different on the ends. And in this case, because we cut the section back, it's not a natural 72 or 96-inch wide section, we are going to have to cut back these spaces so they fit properly. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to grab your pickets, you're going to grab a picket, and you're going to come to the first hole, lock it in, and then you're going to come back into the slot here. This is just a slot, remember, in the rail, and you're just going to bang this over, tap it over. So So normally you would put in your first space, you'd have a spacer here, which is going to be a short one, but you don't put that one in yet because you won't be able to get it in. And normally you would put this first spacer in here. But as per the instructions, you skip this first spacer for the time being because you're going to need that to help you maneuver to get the next one in. So I'm just going to skip that spacer, go to the second picket. So now we're going to start adding the spacers as we go along. So just snap in, and you grab the next picket. Boom. Okay, now when you get down to your last 4 pickets, you don't want to put any spacers in yet because you're going to use you need the angle to give you more space on the end to be able to get in your short spacer on the end. So you're just going to do this for the last 4 pickets on every section. We do this, whether it be a short, full one or a cut one, doesn't make a difference. Okay. Now what you're going to do is you're going to put in you have your short spacer that I already pre-cut as per the instructions, how much I had to take off. So I'm going to just snap this in over here. It's a little shorter one. And like I said, if this was a natural section, I wouldn't have had to cut it. And now I'm just going to use the picket, and that'll slide that back. And this obviously space should be consistent here and in sync. And now I'm just going to take the other full ones, and they're going to snap in. This last spacer in. Now what you're going to do is just get everything over to that right side all the way over, and the spacers will go with it. Right, and now what you got to do is, so you can get this last one in, the first one in, you have to do this. Now I'm going to get that short one in like we did on the other side, so everything's in balance. And I'm going to bring this back this way. And then, boom. And then the last one I have is that one I left out initially, and now you can just play with it a little bit. And now that's your full section with all your spindles securely secured. And the only thing you need to do is add a foot block, which is an adjustable foot block that goes underneath as well. How you can convert a straight section into a stair section. So one of the things you have to do different, obviously, is you have to order different brackets. So we have standard brackets for your standard rise and fall, bottom and top bracket. They still fit into the self-centered on the posts and so on. If you happen to have a rise or a fall that's a bigger or less of an angle, we have adjustable brackets, so you can get to any rise or fall that you should happen to have. So you'd have to, this is going to fit probably 99% of standard stair. Every once in a while you have a crazy stair up or down. The other thing you have to do that's different is you have to order a conversion kit, okay, which is spacers. Spacers like we used in the top. So when you have your stair section, you have to order the stair conversion kit. So these spacers are just a little bit shorter. And then what you have to do is take the bottom rail that has the pre-holes punched in it for a straight section. And what you do is you take this vinyl profile out of the bottom rail, you spin it around, put it back in. So now it's blocking all the holes. And what happens is now that rail, what was the top or straight, now becomes the bottom of the bottom rail, right? And now what you're going to do is you're going to, obviously you would install this rail like we did, like we do in a straight section, get it mounted into your brackets, on an angle going up and so on. Once you have it pre-cut, like as per the instructions we have. Now you're going to just take your spacers like you did up on the top, and you're going to just snap your spacers in. You're just going to go along, snap. Most of your spacers you can snap right in on the bottom rail, right? So, and now once you have your spacers snapped in, now you're going to just install it the same way we did the straight section. You're gonna leave out that half piece and the first piece, put brackets in, put the first few pickets in. When you get to the last 4 pickets, you're gonna bring them over this way so you can get the last piece in. You have to cut them and then snap everything in up on the top and you're set. This is our new gate kit for Eastern Ornamental Railing. They come in 36-inch high and 42-inch high, and they come at 48 inches wide. Okay? And it comes knocked down in a box in a kit, and it does include hinges and latches. And it does not have the spaces like you have on the sections, because you don't have a stair one. So it's but you do have to assemble it. So if you're going to assemble it, you would just cut it back evenly for a 32 or 36-inch or whatever. And there's no X-bracing on these. And one of the benefits of these is if you look at these posts, there is the posts, the uprights, that doesn't have the decorative piece like the post do. This way your hinges will fit on here flat. And one of the unique things is if you look at the bottom of this real detail, look at the bracket. The bracket, when it comes in, it goes right to the post, and the bracket is welded to the upright of the post. So that's a sturdy bracket. It's all one piece, and so that's why we have no bracing on the gate. Our posts are all available in 2.5-inch and 3-inch. And you get them at different lengths depending on the application. For 36-inch high, 42-inch high, straight section or stair section, I would always ask you to refer to the catalogs to get that proper information. And then all of our posts are available with, either you can get it with the base plate or without a base plate. So with the base plate, which is a bolt-on base plate, which is a nice benefit. A lot of companies have them welded on, but this is nice if you're in the field and you have to core drill one post or use something different, you can remove the base plate. And then when you order it with the base plate, it comes with the skirt. It's a 2-piece skirt that's snapped together, and before you snap them together, every post comes with a tube of glue just to secure the skirt, and it comes with 4 metal shims. So if you have to level out a post, you can give you a little bit of leveling, and it all has installation instructions for the entire application. When you get into the post without a base plate, it's just the only thing that comes with that is just a cap. And then you can use this for core drilling or any other custom application you have. And in addition to that, we also have some sales aids to help you sell the product. And the sales aid shows you 2.5-inch posts and a 3-inch post. And they do have the base plates on both of them, which really give you a lot of good weight. And it has the foot block on it, which is adjustable as well. We also have a trifold brochure that shows you the finished product and the warranty and the full specs are in here. And we also have a keychain with the 3 colors, which is great to keep in your briefcase or something when you're out in the field trying to sell.